Hello all. I came across a subject recently that is very interesting, and normally I share my responses or my input with a group of people that I work with or the local faith group that I lead. However, this topic is so important that a wider group of people would definitely benefit from it. What is wrong with being wrong? Well, absolutely nothing. But it all depends on what you do with it. I am not talking in terms of something simply being halal or haram, permissible or impermissible. I am talking about the state and mindset of being wrong. I'm looking at this within a deeper philosophical context. Simply put, most people don't like to be wrong. They don't want to admit to being wrong. It's like they are deeply repulsed at the possibility, at the mere possibility of being wrong. Why? What is it that drives our innermost being to resist or reject the possibility that we might need a course correction? Is it truly us, or is it the spirit that made a home inside of us? Think about it objectively, with no bias. Remove yourself from yourself. Look at yourself with no preconceived notions. Are you perfect? Are we perfect? Or are we meant to struggle with our innermost being? If so, what is the purpose of the struggle? What is the end result? If every one of us made every decision perfectly, if that was even possible, then everything would be perfect. But when we come to our rational senses, it's obvious that life is not perfect. Thus, not every one of us makes every decision perfectly. And guess what? It's perfectly normal. We make mistakes. No one person has a monopoly on perfection. Only God is perfect. We are meant to struggle in order to learn and reach higher levels of self-awareness and consciousness. God put us on this planet to know Him. God is the only perfect reality because God is the only reality. Even though we will never be perfect, it is our duty to seek perfection. So, I ask again, since we are not perfect beings, what exactly is wrong with being wrong? You have seen it your whole life, maybe with your friends, your family, your loved ones, a stubbornness, hard-headedness, outright resistance. There is no possible way they, or even you, could be wrong. And in the process, it could hurt, right? So, let's talk about why. It's due to the nature of the spirit that has made a home inside of you, and it manifests itself as your ego. Your ego is your ultimate enemy, and your ego is the manifestation of the devil, or Satan, that resides in you. Children of the devil are the children of the lie, are the children of the ego. The ego manifests itself as disobedience, as darkness, as arrogance, as ignorance, and as resistance to what is right and just. The ego does not allow us to admit that we are wrong, that we could be mistaken, or that we need to proceed on a course correction. So there is nothing wrong with being wrong as long as you work to overcome it. But you cannot overcome it without overcoming your ego. Overcoming first means to recognize that you are wrong. It involves taking steps to never commit that wrong again. It involves admitting that you are wrong both to yourself and to those affected. It may involve an apology or forgiveness, and it ultimately involves letting go of the ego. It means letting go of the nature of Satan. When I mentioned disobedience earlier, I meant disobedience to God, i.e., disobedience to what is right and just and beautiful and true. To those who are listening attentively, understand that you overcome disobedience with obedience. Overcome darkness with pure divine light. Overcome arrogance with humility. Overcome ignorance with knowledge. And overcome resistance with forbearance. In Arabic, we refer to forbearance as al-hilm, extreme patience. It means to forbear, and I want you to keep this in mind. You must be patient with others and patient with yourself. Forgive often, forgive always. Let forgiveness become a natural part of you. Letting go of your ego means to forgive. For how do you expect God to forgive you if you are not willing to forgive others? Since your ego is your ultimate enemy, you must know thyself in order to overcome it. There is a reason, there is a purpose as to why the ancient sages and philosophers and prophets encouraged us to know thyself. It's because knowing thyself is knowing thy Lord. Know thyself, for the kingdom of heaven is within. Thank you for your time.